game soundtrack can make or break a game. Whether a game is great or not sometimes is dependent upon the music that comes with it. Hi everyone, I am Anthony Gamer and I am Red the Fox, and today on Anthony and Red's Top 10 we're going to discuss our top 10 favorite soundtracks from our favorite games. Yeah, and some of the games there, the music that's used is sometimes more important or significant than the game itself. That's correct, and that also goes with movies. There have been some movies out there that were terrible. I mean, just terrible. But they had a great soundtrack. A perfect example of this is the film Black Roses. Horrible movie, but probably one of the best soundtrack albums out there. And it can be the same with games. A lot of times games that are great or considered great by fans, critics alike, were also had a great soundtrack, whether it was theme music or they used licensed music from specific artists. So, in today's top 10, we are going to discuss games of several different platforms. And a quick disclaimer, we mean absolutely no disrespect by these lists we make. These are simply our opinions, and if some games have been left out, it's purely coincidental. So, without further ado, let's get started. Are you ready, Red? Oh, yeah, I'm ready when you are. All right, so let's get started.
And starting off at the number 10 spot there, we have Bobby is Going Home by Bitcorp for the Atari 2600. Now this here is a PAL game. It was only released in Europe. Now the main reason we decided to pick this here game is because most PAL games have atrocious music. I mean, sometimes it's just a lot of loud beeps and stuff like that, and you just want to turn the darn thing off, or better yet, just turn down the volume all the way. I mean, you got a perfectly great game like Pizza Chef, but it makes so many annoying sounds, you gotta turn the sound off. Now, in this game here, you got not only amazing graphics and a fun game, but it plays music, mostly kind of hymnal stuff, and it's not annoying. It's actually pretty well done, so that is the reason that we added this game to the list here. And at number 9, we have the only prototype on today's list, and that is the famous Pursuit of the Pink Panther. Now, it's not uncommon to have Atari games with music, as Red just pointed out. However, it is kind of rare to have high-quality music with a game. Now, in the case of Pursuit of the Pink Panther, it had the advantage of having two chips, a ROM and a RAM chip, which made it possible to have great gameplay, stunning graphics, as well as a great soundtrack with, of course, the Pink Panther theme. All in all, that is what makes this one of the greatest unreleased games ever. And at the number 8 spot there, we got Ionic Commando from the NES. Now, we could probably do a whole list just of, the NES games, because there was nothing like 8-bit music. Oh, that's for sure. And aside from the fact that this is probably one of your all-time favorite games, it's deserving to be on this list. Not only is the game itself really challenging and a whole lot of fun there, but it's got an amazing soundtrack, which makes this game easily one of the best NES titles out there. And at the number 7 spot, we have another NES game, and this is Demon's Sword. Now, this has to be one of my all-time favorite games for several reasons. One, it was the first game I think I ever beat for the NES, and 2, I just really love the action, the storyline, and 3, the music is just great. This Asian kind of theme music in the background just adds another layer to this already great game. This is actually supposed to be a sequel to Legend of Cage, but I tell you, even though Legend of Cage was a great game and had a great soundtrack, this one takes it up a notch and definitely is one of my all-time favorite NES titles. And at the number 6 spot, we have a game with, strangely enough, the number 6 in its title, and that is Leisure Suit Larry 6, Shape In or Slip Out. Now, ordinarily, I will let you guys know ahead if I'm going to have some games that are strictly adult themed. That's why I'm only showing the introduction to this very much adult game. Besides the games themselves being a whole lot of fun and just barrels of laughs and multiple times that you play the game, the music that was composed by the game's creator, Al Lowe, is just second to none. Different places you go in this game, you have different background music, all of it just great. But of course, that Leisure Suit Larry theme song is the one that stands out the most. I got a question. What's that? Are you gonna have episodes there talking about some of these kind of games? Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna have some playthroughs of the Leisure Suit Larry games and discussions about it, but of course I'm gonna warn people ahead of time. Oh, that's nice.
I'm out of here.
Okay, at number 5 spot there we have probably the game that has the best soundtrack of any other game on the Atari 2600. Now, this, of course, is a big step up from Pitfall 1, which in itself was a great game. Not only is the adventure multi-layered and multi-level, but you also got a killer soundtrack in the background. Even up to Dave's brain to pick out some great music and put it in and all that kind of game. And I'll tell you what, I love how the music changes throughout the game too. Pick up roles, the music changes throughout the game, which also adds an extra layer of coolness to it because of that. It's easy in one instance to have like in the Bobby's in Panther, we got the same song, the music actually changes with the game. That's something which very rarely you've ever saw before or since Atari 2600. And at the number 4 spot, we have a legendary first-person shooter game from the 90s, and that is Blood. Now, in this game, you take on the role of Caleb, somebody who has been stabbed in the back and betrayed by his master, and the guy also went and killed his friends, so he's going on revenge. He's kind of like a dark cowboy kind of figure. But I'll tell you, besides this game living up to its name and some, it has a great soundtrack. I tell you, the music fits the game for each particular level. The best way I can describe it is got almost a Peter Gabriel's Passion kind of feel to it, if you've ever heard that album. And if you purchase the game on GOG.com, they include the soundtrack album itself. So if you haven't played this game, or if you have and you like to play it again, head over to GOG and download it and enjoy the dark soundtrack album. No other video game in history has received the number of accolades and awards than Half-Life, and rightfully so, as it is considered by some to be the greatest video game ever made. Aside from being an amazing first-person shooter game and having a great storyline, great characters, and lots of action, it also has an amazing soundtrack to it. I remember back in the day when I had this on CD-ROM, I actually got into the program and I pulled the music from the game and put it on a CD. I enjoyed it that much. Oh yeah, you've done that a couple times, haven't you? Oh yeah, with a couple other games. All of them will be on today's list, but the soundtrack itself is really cool. It's got almost kind of a Nine Inch Nails, Trent Reznor feel to it, which also just adds an amazing level to an already amazing game. One that is still considered one of the greatest video games ever made. Now, in the number 2 spot, we have Redneck Rampage. This was another first-person shooter game from the 90s, and this was the only game on today's list, more or less, that has licensed music from already established artists. Now, what you got here is a whole lot of the type of music that you call psychobilly. You got Mojo Nixon, the Beat Farmers, Cement Pond, and of course the king himself of psychobilly, that is the Reverend Horton Heat. Now, if you've never played this game before, it's one of the best shooter games that they had during that time period. It's funny, it's crazy, it's lots of foul language and blood and shooting and great music. So if you haven't played this game before, give her a try, y'all. And at the number 1 spot is Streets of Sim City. This should come as no surprise to people that have watched my channel for a while. I do not understand why this game gets so much hate. Yeah, I don't get it either. The only thing I can figure is some folks probably just don't know how to play it, or they just go right into the mission modes and don't do the free form, so they miss out on learning how to play it in the first place. That's true. Aside from the fact that some people don't care for the game, the soundtrack album is amazing. You have a radio station, actually a radio with several different radio stations in your car, where you can select rock and roll, bluegrass, urban, all kinds of different types of music, and it really helps throughout the course of the game. As you can hear, I'm playing the rock and roll station in the background, and I'll tell you, this game is just so much fun, to me anyway. But the soundtrack from this album is so good that back when I had the CD-ROM of this game, I got into the program and took the files off, and they're still part of my playlist. Actually, sometimes I use some of the songs as the intro to some of my videos, so it wasn't even close. I knew that this was going to be my number 1 pick.
Well, that brings us to the end of our list. Did we miss out on any that you thought should have been on the list? Let us know about it in the comments section below, and maybe we'll make another one. I definitely think we have to make one of 8-bit games. Oh yeah, I mean, that's just a whole nother can of monkeys in its own right. It's barrel of monkeys. Oh yeah, that's true. Were you any good at that game? Yeah, I was. I used to play with JoJo a lot when she was little. Oh yeah, that was a lot of fun. Okay. Anyway, thank you for stopping by, and we will see you all in the next Anthony and Red's Top 10. Until next time, I'm Anthony Gamer, and I am Red the Fox. All of you take care of yourselves, and we will see you next time. Goodbye. Bye, everyone.